All right, vlog number 5. Let's go ahead and get into this. So continuing on from the last vlog, which was a great trip down memory lane for me, we get done with the Big John's basketball tournament and we start to look for other jobs very similar to that event. And so I start reaching out via email, social media, making phone calls to different musicians, different festivals, different events, things like that, asking them if they would like us to create a design for an event shirt. And this interesting thing starts to happen. Each time I reach out to one of these events, instead of them wanting an event shirt, they start asking me, hey, would you like to purchase a booth and come and sell your shirts there? And it made sense as far as that's what other Polynesian apparel businesses were doing. Even as a customer, I had never seen a Polynesian design shirt being sold anywhere else except for concerts, festivals, flag days, those sorts of things. Now at this time we also had a lot of inventory that had been created and purchased before I came on. And these weren't poly design shirts, these were more mainstream designs focused on that message, rise over opposition, conquer the impossible. We had one that read dedicated, we had a Happy Valley shirt, a Salt Lake City shirt, a Rookie Wear logo, this floral pattern rookie design, different colors, all very cool shirts, but again, none that had any Polynesian designs in them. And just to back up a little, the order that we did with the West High School had Polynesian designs in it. So technically our first sale was for a Polynesian audience, where again the inventory that we had were more mainstream designs and we needed to figure out how to sell that inventory. But I didn't think that getting a booth was the right way to do it, and here's why. Number one, there's a vendor fee to get a booth, and I felt like that just automatically put us in the hole. We'd have to at least get to that point to start making a profit. Number two, it just required a lot of work. And I don't think there's anything wrong with work, but I do think it's important to work smart and to be efficient. And so work like, setting up a booth, hauling inventory, traveling, setting up a display, purchasing everything that comes with setting up a booth, I just didn't feel was the best use of our skills and talents. Number three, we'd be subject to the success of the event. How well was that event marketed? And even if it was a good event, it didn't necessarily mean that, and good event meaning there was traffic, it didn't necessarily mean that that was going to be a success for us. And then number four, competition. We would be right next to other vendors that were offering a very similar product to what we were offering. And then the last two I think are the most important. Number five was that we would need to purchase inventory to take there, which I felt meant risk. Even with the 4 to 5 designs that we had in the inventory that we had, it wasn't enough that if we took that there and sold out, it would make it worth our time financially to go to the event. So we'd have to purchase some more inventory to take there. And that meant, choosing the right colors, the right designs, the right sizes, determining quantity, all of those things which make it very unpredictable. And again, I think that means risk. And in order to do that, we would need to spend our money. And so at this time, we had the West Jordan high school jobs that we had done, and we had a few other small jobs that we had done. And so we had some capital saved up. But in order to do the event right, and we would only do it if we were going to do it the right way, it would take all of that savings to do it. And then sixth is I just didn't believe that we had a strong enough brand at that time. Our designs were cool, but I thought they were just too different for the audience that we'd be in front of at these events. And part of that was I didn't think we had solidified our way of sharing our message yet. The rise over opposition message is strong, and those shirts, some of those shirts really reflect that, but I didn't think that folks knew our message, and I didn't think that that type of event was the best time or way to start educating them on what our message was. Now, I also want to be clear that it wasn't the risk that pushed us into taking a different route. We as a team realized that there will always be risk. It was the fact that there were just too many negatives and not enough positives for us. And these festivals and events, they're great for Polynesian businesses. They must be, because so many people do them. But for us and for the resources and the goals that we had, it just wasn't a good idea. But what it led us to do was, it forced us really to look for a good idea. And I think that's one of the reasons that the experience was so good for us. Because we decided at that point that we weren't going to do something just because others were doing it. In fact, we feel even up to this time that we should do it differently, especially if everyone is doing it a certain way, because we want different results. So what came of this was this strategy to only sell our products to buyers that would purchase up front. And that would help to eliminate the guessing game of inventory. And in the meantime, we have a few reorders from the West High softball team, in part because they're having this killer season. We do their playoff shirts for them, and then their regional champ shirts for them as well. Shout out to Coach Lupati and the girls softball team. They even ended up winning the 2017 state championship this year. And we've been very fortunate to be connected to them. It was also our first experience with high schools, which was great for us, because now we've got 9+ high schools, and that seems to grow every week just 2 years later. Now in the meantime, like I mentioned, we're also doing a few family reunions and a few ward camps, again, which fall into this model of pre-sales or upfront sales. And that just really reinforces our belief in the strategy that we've chosen. So our strategy seems to be working, and the next thing that we start to focus on is building our brand and sharing our message. And this perfect opportunity comes our way. And I want to talk, before I share the opportunity, I want to talk a little bit about opportunity itself. We as a team have been so blessed to have so many really cool things happen to us. And I believe it's because of a combination of things. Number one, most importantly, is that we look for opportunity. Whenever we meet with someone, we really work hard to determine how we can possibly help them with the skills and resources that we have. Is there something that we can do to be of a benefit to them? And then number two, relationships. We're always aware that we never know where the next opportunity is going to come from. And so it's important to treat each relationship that we have as the most important relationship, or as our best customer. And we really believe that because each job, regardless of how small it is part of a larger picture. And we need all of the pieces in order to complete that picture. And then number three, I think is the most important, is say yes. We charge everything, almost. And partly because we don't look at the opportunity just as the way it's presented to us. If it feels good, we put it through our selection process, try and figure out different ways that we can really maximize the potential of the opportunity. And if there's like a 51% chance that it'll work, then we go for it. And that's really served us well up to this point. So this perfect branding opportunity comes to us from a great friend and great musician, Junior Maile. I'm sure everyone is familiar with him. And we'll talk quite a bit about him in some later vlogs, just because of how important our relationship with him has been in terms of the success that we've had. We owe him a lot. So he is doing a collaboration with James the Mormon, who's this up-and-coming local rapper. And in the video, they're looking for some Polynesians to be in the video. So Junior invites Al J to come through and bring some shirts to hand out for anyone who might want to wear our shirts. And the name of the video is Motivation, which again is just right up our alley and fits great with our message. And if you haven't seen the video, I'll provide it in a link below. But this video, it does so much for us. And as I share what I feel like it's done for us, again, this is just my perspective and my opinion. I think LJ probably has his own thoughts on how it was beneficial for us. But number one, I felt like it really gave us a sense of how we could tell our story and how our brand now was connected to this cool, inspiring, uplifting song about motivation. And it really just fit right in line with our message. Number two, it allowed us to hand out shirts. And and then talk about our message with a group of people that were interested in our story, or at least were willing to listen to us, and probably interested more in the free shirts. But it also gave us some practice in actually vocalizing our message to others, and then getting positive feedback. And then there were also a couple guys there, non-Polynesians, that had their own apparel brands, and it gave me an opportunity to talk with them about what they were doing with their brand and the successes and the challenges that they've had. Number 3, when the video came out, it was something that we could show people that was just really cool, and show them that our shirts are in this video, which was a cool thing for us as well. But it was a great morale booster for the team. It didn't turn into huge sales for us off of those shirts or anything like that, but it was such a fun experience that it led to us having the motivation to push harder, and it just created tons of excitement for us and our brand. And then another great opportunity was that we had a chance to meet James the Mormon. Now at the video, we just shook hands and thanked him for letting us be part of the video. But from that meeting, it's led to so many other opportunities with James the Mormon and Junior Miley that have just been huge for us. So at this point in the business, we've also turned in our application to the NCAA licensing organization, CLC, and we're just waiting to hear back from them. But all the fees that we needed to pay in order to apply for the license and to pay all the upfront fees that are required for the license came from the money that we saved by not investing in going into these booths and going into these events. So again, that strategy pays off for us. I think this is probably a good place for us to end. The next vlog we'll talk about, we now have our license, and we move, I guess, into the big leagues. But just 3 major takeaways. Number 1 is you don't have to do things a certain way just because that's the way it's always been done. In fact, we as a team want different results, and so we specifically make different moves. Number 2, opportunity is everywhere, but we don't wait for it to come to us. We are always actively looking for it, or looking for an opportunity to, or looking for a way to create that opportunity. And then number 3, thanks again to Coach Lopati and the West High girls softball team. Thanks to James the Mormon for allowing us to be part of his journey. And a big thanks to Junior Miley for always thinking of rookie wear when he comes across an opportunity. Again, we owe him huge. All right, that's about it. Thanks. Let's get to work.